Hey rockers, welcome back to the channel, man. I'm coming at you from my front porch today in lovely Gold Hill, Oregon. Gonna talk about Warren Haynes and the Warren Haynes Band. For all you blues rockers out there, this is a little different story. No punk rock or metal or curveballs here. But I had an opportunity to go see Warren Haynes and his awesome band at the Holly Theater in Medford, Oregon just a few nights ago, actually April the 26th. Yeah, Warren Haynes and the boys played at the Holly Theater in Medford, Oregon, April the 26th of this very year. It's the Million Voices Whisper Tour. Yep, Warren's latest album, which came out in late 2024, is called Million Voices Whisper. And let me tell you something, man. This guy is somebody I've been listening to for a long time. Government Mule, the Allman Brothers Band, and of course Warren Haynes' solo material is stellar. Big fan. Got to meet the guy last year over in Jacksonville, Oregon. He was super cool, very approachable, happy to give us his time, and actually hung out for 10, 15, 20 minutes just shooting the crap with us, man, talking, and I know he likes to take advantage of 420, if you know what I mean. Yeah, Warren Haynes, what a cool dude and a killer guitar player. Before I get into this story, I gotta address something that happened the other day, man. I put a video up, a 30-second clip of the Warren Haynes Band playing at the Holly Theater in Medford, Oregon on my other channel, which is called The Church of Rock. All one word. The Church of Rock, right? So I put this 30-second music video up, and somebody has the nerve to put a one-sentence comment, which of course I deleted. I never respond to negativity, very rarely. Nobody can actually make you mad. It's really something that has to come from within you. So I don't let people take my energy that easily and get under my skin. I usually just delete it. This guy actually said, under a Warren Haynes video, well, that solo sucked. He's getting old. Are you freaking kidding me? The guy's 65 years old. I can name a dozen people off the top of my head that are between 70 and 85 that are still singing or playing music. So to hell with your comment, bro, whoever the hell you were. And no, here I am getting a little negative, but what are you going to do? Anyway, I removed that comment, and I do not allow that kind of negativity on my channel because, man, even though it's a guy's opinion, Warren Haynes is a human being. Can you imagine him on his tour bus flipping through YouTube and checking out videos from the show he did the night before? And just imagine, even though it probably wouldn't bother him, I'm sure he's thicker skinned than that, but it still wouldn't make him feel good. Oh, that guitar solo sucked. No, it didn't, man. I don't think the guy's ever played a solo that sucked. Warren Haynes is killer, dude. Anyway, that uncool and ignorant YouTube comment had to be addressed because it was on my mind. The Holly Theater is a pretty interesting place. It's a very old place that first opened August 29th, 1930 in Medford, Oregon. Just a really beautiful old school theater that they originally created for talking pictures, which is what they used to call movies. But the Holly Theater was around from 1930 until 1986 when it was closed down. It was purchased by various people, a couple organizations that kept it from being knocked down. And today I've learned that it cost $13 million to restore that theater. Do you know how much love you've got to have for something to invest that kind of money to keep it going and get it up and operating again? So cheers and double thumbs up to the Holly Theater people for, keeping that beautiful theater alive and renovating it, man. $13 million though? Wow, that's hard to, it's really hard to comprehend that. But it did open, I think it was March of this very year, and John Belushi's brother, who lives here in Southern Oregon, actually performed. I did not attend. I read online that this theater holds 1,200 people, but then today it said that it holds 1,008 people, which is a pretty cool number, by the way. But either way, we went to the theater, have never been there before, been waiting since I moved to Oregon in 2011 for this place to reopen because I kept hearing it's going to open soon, it's going to open soon. And after about a decade, I was like, are you guys all higher than I am? What in the hell? When's it going to open? Well, it was worth the wait. Yep, this place is beautifully restored. It looks just like it did in the 30s. It's got this beautiful feel to it with a lot of colors, a lot of charm, and a totally old school feel. I mean, it's got decorations in there that are just like, wow. I've heard of all kinds of different things like, you know, Art Deco and things like that, but it's not that style. It's more like the Venice, Italy of the 30s kind of look. It's hard to explain, but just a great place, man. The place was freaking packed. When the band came out, they came out about 2 minutes after we arrived, which was perfect timing. We had great seats right in the middle of the place. You could see the band absolutely perfectly. And the first thing I noticed, man, was the light show. Normally, I'm not a light show kind of guy. Well, unless they're really magnificent. And they were. Like, they had these smoke machines on stage, more like misters, like misting in the air, right? And I kept thinking, those must be there for Warren's voice, because I know some musicians like the air conditioning on, some prefer it to be warm, but a lot of stuff affects a musician's voice, right? But I was wrong. Those machines were there to interact with the light show that I was getting ready to witness. And it was killer because these lights were like these big round cylinders, right, on these big poles running across the back of the place. There must have been at least a dozen or two. And these things would spin around. And man, the light show started out cool. Then the light show got really cool, and then it was full-blown psychedelic after like the first hour. It just kept getting crazier and crazier. And the light show wasn't just on the band. That smoke's mixing with it and making all these weird psychedelic effects, but these guys actually planned it to where the ceiling, literally the ceiling above the stage in front of us, was also a light show unto itself, which was different than the light show that you were seeing on stage. So it was a really cool little bit of psychedelia there, and I wish I would have eaten some of those magic mushrooms, but I didn't. Anyway, back to the story. So the band comes on. We were stoked to see, of course, Warren Haynes on the guitar and vocals. Kevin Scott, the bass player for Government Mule, was on bass, Matt Slocum on keyboards, and Terrence Higgins on the drums, who is kind of known for being in a band called the Dirty Dozen Brass Band. And they said Greg Osby was there with sax. I gotta tell you, it's the one thing I don't remember is seeing a sax player. But anyway, every one of these guys in Warren Haynes Band were just absolutely killer. Really good players. The bass player, man, wow, that dude. Because there was a point in the show where Warren let everyone do a solo, and normally I'm like, okay, this is going to be good, or it's just going to be the obligatory solos to, you know, give the artist some, you know, respect. But man, let me tell you something, man. It was just groovy, Greg. Yeah, it was cool. The keyboard player, the drummer, the bass player, these guys were like top of the top line of musicians. You know, they would have to be to play with a guy like Warren Haynes, right? You know, Warren Haynes was with the Allman Brothers for about 25 years. Did you know that was about 10 times as long as that of founding member Duane Allman, who died in a motorcycle wreck in 1971. So yeah, man, Warren put his time in with the Allman Brothers, and unfortunately, I never got to see the Allmans, man, which, my bad. That night, I did acquire the set list. I do not believe this is the entire set list. It seems a little short to me, but I'm going to rattle off some of the songs they did. The guys played for about an hour, right? Just a killer, fantastic, really upbeat set. And then they said, we're going to take a short break and we'll come back out and play a lot longer for you guys. And you know, the Warren Haynes Band is kind of a jam band. That's what they do. They jam and they improv. They do these long 6, 7, 8, 10-minute songs, but you just get lost in it, you know? In theory, it sounds like, oh, how boring if you're into punk rock or, you know, like I am, and you're used to these 2-minute songs. But there was a time back in the mid-2000s where I reintroduced myself to psychedelics, and I went and saw a band called Brainchild in Central Illinois. And when I left that experience, I was like, why in the hell did I lose touch with my younger self? Why did I stop doing stuff that I did when I was young to keep my mind expanded? Like opening myself up to new types of music, because I hated jam bands up until about 2008 or 9 or 10, literally. But at that point, when I did those shrooms and saw Brainchild, I was just like, these guys are magnificent. Now I understand jam bands, and I started having a new perspective, and I kind of opened my mind more about music back then. Before that, I was really into punk rock and metal and that kind of stuff and outlaw country. But now, these days, if it sounds good, I like it. There's no genre that I don't like. It's just all about, is it good or bad? You know, a lot of people say, oh, I like all music, well, except rap and country. But I'm not one of those guys, man. I like all music, period, including rap and country. Not all of it, but a lot of it's great, man. The band came out and did the song Terrified. They did Lies, Lies, Lies. And one of the first things I noticed was how great the sound system is. Because I kept thinking, you know, these guys are like marvelous with this light show. Of course, the Holy Theater has outdone themselves with this beautiful, newly restored theater. But how's the sound going to be? Killer. Now, I was watching the sound guide. It took them about a second or two to adjust things and get it to where it should be, but it was really good. So thumbs up to the sound guy for the Holly Theater. I don't know if that was Warren Haynes' own sound guy. I'm suspecting it probably was, but it was dialed in, man. After Lies, 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 the guys broke into Fire in the Kitchen, which is a video that I did film, and it is on my other channel, The Church of Rock, all one word. And please subscribe there if you would, and if you could, maybe take a moment to subscribe here for me. I'd appreciate that, you rockers, and give me a thumbs up and leave a comment. I'd appreciate it, man, and I respond to everybody, unless it's something negative. Government Mule, of course, the band that Warren's known for being in, the bass player and him from the Government Mule. Just, I can't say enough good things about these guys. But Beautifully Broken, what a great song title and a beautiful song. Whenever Warren would do his solos, it was just eloquent, just beautiful. It's starting to sound cheesy here, Bloody, but I'm not kidding, man. He was just that good. No mistakes. Everybody was on point. Everything was great, and there was no bad anything. Then they did a song by Phil Lesh and Friends, of course, Phil Lesh being from the Grateful Dead. They did a tune called Patchwork Quilt, another great jam. The audience was very receptive to these guys. Everyone was making a lot of noise. Anytime it got quiet, you would hear somebody yell something very nice and respectful to Warren, and I'm sure he appreciated that. He's not a man of many words, though. He doesn't sit around and yak like I do, blah, 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 blah. He talked very little on stage, and it was very just respectful and minimal, which was kind of refreshing, you know. He didn't seem like a guy with any kind of ego, just really relaxed, in the pocket. And like I say, he's one of those guys that enjoys a good 420. So he's a laid-back dude, man, and I appreciate that. There's nothing wrong with having a healthy ego, say like Michael Monroe. But there's also nothing wrong with somebody having an ego that's really, really out of reach, really. You can't see it. But, you know, it takes ego to keep you driven in the first place. It's just all about keeping things in perspective, keeping things to a minimum. You can have an ego that gives you enough drive to keep going and to rep what you believe in yourself as some kind of self-esteem, you know? And then you get these egos that some of these guys get in rock and roll where they forget who butters their bread. They don't want to sign autographs. They don't want to talk to you. That's some bullshit, man. If I was ever a big rock star, I would always, no matter how much of a hassle, no matter how much it got annoying, I would always remember who paid my bills. It's the fans, man, right? So after they did Patchwork Quilt, they did a killer blues tune, a cover by the great Little Milton. And it was called That's What Love Will Make You Do. Let me tell you something, man. Warren Haynes, if you're a fan, I'm preaching to the choir right now, but I love his voice. He's just got that really beautiful, soulful, bluesy voice, you know. He can really belt it out when he wants to. Then they did a Government Mule tune called Thorazine Shuffle, another one with a great title, the Thorazine Shuffle. I just keep thinking about, Jack Nicholson movie, you know, the mental hospital. Oh my gosh, it just escaped me. Will Jeer's in that movie. You know, the mental hospital movie with Jack Nicholson. Oh my God, Nurse Ratched. What's the name of the movie? Oh my God, somebody tell me in the comments below. Anyway, when I think of Thorazine Shuffle, I think about that movie for some reason and some of the patients in there, because they would administer meds and people would just get all kind of lost, you know what I mean? Like doing the Thorazine Shuffle like some kind of zombie Herman Munster well, not on acid, on Thorazine. Then they did a cool version of Traffic's I'm Feeling All Right, I'm Feeling Not Too Good Myself. And they did a cool jam with that where they kind of morphed into Feeling All Right, and that was really cool, man. The guys ended up taking a break about halfway through their set, or they did like an hour, a little over an hour. They said, we're going to take a little break. Like I said, they came back out after that break, about 20 minutes or so, and they played for at least another hour and a half, which was heaven to these ears. And they came out and did a Allman Brothers tune, which I was really hoping they would. And they did Soul Shine, which, you know, vocally was performed by the late, great Gregg Allman, who I'm a very huge fan of, and I consider him to be one of the very best white soul singers to walk the planet Earth. Man, just listen to the first couple Gregg Allman solo albums to argue with me on that one. Rest in peace, Gregg Allman. I love that guy, man. Anyway, Soul Shine. What a great tune, right? The Allman Brothers. It just got great lyrics. It makes you feel good, and that was the last song they did. I'm glad they kept the encore kind of short, because at this point I was kind of ready to boogie. Not that I was bored. It's just that, you know, jam bands, man, 2.5, 3 hours of a band that will get to you. I'm used to like punk bands playing for 20-minute sets, you know. But that being said, I appreciate you guys listening to me yap as I sit here on the porch here in Southern Oregon, and I should turn it around and show you what I'm seeing on the other side, guys. Can I do this? Can I flip it? Yeah, check it out. There's some mountains back there. You can see our porch is newly decorated. We're working on it, man. But yeah, it's a pretty cool view from where I'm at, and if you go this way, check it out, man. All these mountains all around me. It's beautiful. If I were to walk straight ahead past that old barn that you see right there, I would literally walk into the Rogue River. Yep, it's right there across the street, man. I'm blessed. I'm grateful. I'm always counting my blessings. And I thank you guys so much for coming to check out my videos. It means a lot to me to create these, and it means a lot that people enjoy them. My first intention to do this was just to share my life stories. Instead of writing a book, I'm merely telling little chapters of my life experiences in the form of video, because it's easier than writing a book, printing a book, distributing a book, paying for all of that. It's just a hassle, and it's old school. So these days, these videos hit people on all corners of the planet. I got an email from someone yesterday in the French Alps, and my good friend Steve down in Mexico, I want to shout you out, bro. Thank you for everything. Great friend Steve is down there in Mexico, and I appreciate each and every one of you. And I'll be back soon with more rock, metal, punk, and weird oddball tales. And if you guys have any requests for story ideas, please, by all means, leave them in the comments below. And you can always email me personally. My email is in the description area of every video I make. Cheers, rock and roll, and have a great evening, my friends.